Hello, we're back again in the Vienna studio. Here with me, I'm very happy to welcome them, are Sarvenas Enayati and Elham Ettehadieh. Both are managing directors of Partner Bank. Very welcome here in our studio.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to be here.
Just for the first question, Elham, would you please just tell our viewers and ourselves what the Partner Bank is all about?
Sure. Partner Bank was founded 30 years ago, and it was founded with the idea of finding ways to express the spirit of service in helping other people to create wealth. Mm-hmm. And so it is specialized on making innovative solutions to for people who have ordinary incomes, but also beyond that, to have private banking solutions, like to invest in stocks, like people would invest if they had $1 million or more, but even for smaller amounts. Mm-hmm. So in reality, Partner Bank's aim is to help people to be financially educated, but also find ways to invest in a sustainable and long-term way to build wealth for the families. Mm-hmm.
So in a way, you have been, or your father who founded Partner Bank has been like kind of a first mover in that sector.
Yes, definitely. I remember like the talks in the beginning, because Partner Bank from the beginning was like this, that we have a headquarter in Upper Austria, mm-hmm. and we don't have like a chain of branches. So we really, everything is online, but then the financial advisors who are with the client, they are independent in different countries. So this element was 30 years ago, it was very unique. And even today, it is now much more common as an idea, but in a way to practice it and to be close to the clients, but at the same time very closely connected to headquarters. It really is a USP today as it was 30 years ago.
Can you name some numbers, like how big is the company, how many employees do you have?
Sure, we have in the headquarters itself, we have some 60 employees. And then we have several hundred financial planners in 6 different countries, in Austria, Germany, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Slovenia. So managing Partner Bank actually means to manage 6, 7 different markets, languages, legal systems, and cultures. Mm-hmm. And that also reflects, in a way, also in the staff in the headquarters itself.
And how many cultures do you count in your headquarters?
Maybe, Sarvenas, you have the overview of this.
Yeah,
one.
I counted, I think, 12 languages. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you speak German, or is it English more?
In Partner Bank, no, yes. We speak German, mm-hmm. but we have a lot of native speakers who speak, for example, then Slovak, Czech, or Hungarian and German, or Polish and mm-hmm. German, and so we have quite a number of languages. And sometimes we have English meetings also, mm-hmm. like if this is the common ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there more like private clients, or is it more like you have more business clients in terms of they have their own businesses and just try to grow their wealth?
Well, it is our services are specialized really on individuals and families. Mm-hmm. So we have some 20,000 clients, and most of them really are private clients and their families. Mm-hmm.
So now to a topic that I'm very curious about. You both are sisters, and you both are managing directors in the bank. How does this work? Because me imagining being probably managing director with my brother would not work.
I would say I don't know it any other way. Like, for me, it works really well. She's whip smart, and very diligent, very like high sense of accountability. Like, I have a high respect for her, and also for my other board member, Andreas Fellners. It's actually the 3 of us, and I think we work so well also because of him. Like, we have a very good dynamic, and I think it helps also because you were brought up in the same family, so we share a lot of same values. Like, we want to give opportunity to women, to people from different ethnicities, religions. We try to contribute to a culture where there's warmth and you can express yourself. And I think that's what we share. But I don't know how it is for you to work with me.
No, I think It really is passion, and it is true. You're used to it, so this is what you know. But I can also see, I think the advantage is that you know someone so well, so from the start, because usually it takes time to understand how the other one ticks, you know, and how to find your synergies. But with family, you already know, so you have a kickstart from that. And also Andreas Fellner, our third member in the board, although he's not like family itself, but we know him for such a long time. And they really have great strength, you know, and I think we complement each other. Like Sarvenas, she's like fierce in having innovations and drive them and so much optimism. And if there's pressure, she's one of those people who really suddenly even have more motivation to do things, you know. She can deal really well with challenging situations. So I think maybe we also got lucky that the constellation is such that it works nicely.
Mm-hmm. And is there like a division of your tasks, or is it like you both work on the same topics? How does it work in like everyday life?
I think family businesses and banking suit very well because a bank is highly regulated, like we talked about that before. And so everyone has his areas of work and focus. But in all major decisions, like we have we call it consultation. We come together, we try to understand each other's point of view and different perspectives, and maybe Elham can then elaborate more on that. And this is why I think that it works well.
Mm-hmm. So yes, so we have a division of tasks, but then we have seen one of the greatest values, I think, in our corporate culture is this idea, as Sarvenas said, is that you have this collective inquiry through consultation, mm-hmm. which means that we have this understanding, no matter which department it is and whoever is responsible for it, when it comes to really important decisions, we come together. We actually encourage the idea of having people from different levels of hierarchy even come together and really openly and freely bring different perspectives to a subject. Mm-hmm. And then also to learn to detach yourself from your idea. So the idea that once you have contributed to the discussion, it's not your idea anymore, and the group can modify it, adapt it, or even discard it. And we had the experience in this way, we actually get so many innovations going and so much unity among the team that it has been very helpful.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like the perfect fit in my ears, but was it set? I mean, was it always the plan to work together in this family office, or did you have in any way other plans when you were young, or I don't know?
I mean, like the family has different businesses in different fields, so I was never sure that I would enter the banking field. I was always interested in communications, and like I studied economics and did a PhD in sociology. So this combination of like social and economic development was always very dear to me. And I always wanted to have also a family. So I have 3 kids, and then we thought, my husband and myself, okay, when we have kids, then it's easier if we move to Austria, where also our family businesses are. And then now I love it. Like, I think it was the best decision. Sometimes things you have not planned turn out to be the best plan.
Mm. And for you, Elham, how was it for you?
I remember growing up, there was a phase where I wanted to work for Walt Disney. I had this idea of being part of this creative team to develop these Disney movies for the cinema. But then, and it was really nice, because when I would talk to my parents, they obviously, this family business was very central to our lives, but at the same time, I remember they would always say, you know, we will support you, whatever career you choose. But really make sure that whatever you do it with the intention to be it as a service to others, mm-hmm. and to strive for excellence, but always to have in mind, how does this make society better, even if it's in a very small way. Mm-hmm. So they said, in this way, you're free to choose whatever, but if the intention is that. Mm-hmm. But then he also, I remember my dad, I think, he did encourage it also. And then for me, because it really triggered my interest. So already when I was 18, 19, it was clear to me to go into the banking field.
Mm-hmm. A very, a dear topic or working motto in your bank is meaning and aims. So this is something you mentioned, both of you mentioned before a few times. So what's behind this attitude? So you already told us a little bit. Perhaps now you...
I think that we always in the board talk a lot about human nature and what a human being needs, like to be able to thrive. And we try to like be really open for the two knowledge systems which exist in the world, like to our mind at least, like science and religion. And I think that you find a lot of interesting concepts in both knowledge systems, how human being thrives and that he needs a purpose and that you want to, that you're stronger together. And so we try to create a culture, like all of us in the bank, where there is warmth and where we really try to see the purpose in what we are doing. Like that for example, creating wealth is a means for us, but it's not an end in itself. So we think that you need a certain amount of wealth to have schools or to have good hospitals or to be able to have to feel a bit financial secure. And so I think it's important to have prosperity for everyone, but I think it's not what at the end makes you content and happy. I think you need both. Like you need social and material progress always.
And this has very practical implications in day-to-day work. Like, for example, you sit in a meeting and you're developing a product. So then, when you come to crossroads, it really is the question, at the end of the day, why are you doing this? Because based on that, you will make decisions about the quality of the product or the target group. You know, so it makes a huge difference if the primary goal of the product is just for your company to make money, than to say, of course, everyone who is involved in the product, the client, the bank itself, the stakeholders, they all should benefit from it. Yes, but the money side of it is a means to it. It is something that we need to progress, but it cannot be the decisive factor when developing a product. You know, so the decisive factor is how does it help our clients to move forward, and how can we do it in a way that we all benefit together?
Was this attitude like always existent from beginning on, or was it something that came more like, or you forced more into your bank or into your culture because of you are who you are and you come where you come from? So is it more typically you, or would you say it's typical for your family in general? Because I've never heard bankers, let's say it that way, talk to me like this. It's very special, I would say.
I mean, I think that we were brought up, like in a way, like I think that my dad was brought up differently than we were. Like my dad was brought up in a way that his father passed away when he was very young, like I think 6 years old. He moved with his siblings and his mom to Europe. And so he had to, like he was something like a self-made person. And then, and I think that my parents always had strong values. And I think that the concept of to whom much is given, much is required was somehow also very present. So I think that that of course it's always a striving. Like I don't think that we think that we have now accomplished it the way we it is supposed to be, but I think we have a very strong, you know, compass where we want to go, and this is our, like, we are purpose-driven, and I think we have a lot of joy in what we are doing, and I think we have been very fortunate that it's not only that we share these values, but like our team, like the employees we all have, I think, this shared vision that we want to make a positive impact, that we try to do the work we have in the best way and intention ever, that we try to support each other, that we are happy for each other, like that we do not, like, I know that in economics you have always this culture of competitiveness, and you think that this drive, like this, the result is excellence. But I feel, or we feel, that our experience shows that people, when they feel it's a culture of collaboration, that everyone is somehow leaning in and sharing their talents, and you feel you can contribute even an idea, even if it's not now thought through, but you know that you have a good brainstorming. So people, I think, share more generously than their talents and what they think when you try to have a culture which is more collaborative rather than competitive.
Want you to add something, or?
No, I think that covers it quite well.
Let's move kind of back into to the core of this talk. There are some questions on Slido. I think this is quite interesting. I want to invest money, but I don't know how. What are your suggestions for beginners? Elham, maybe.
I think the most basic thing the person who has asked the question has already done. Because the most important thing is to be aware that it's important to also think about this part of your life. You know, to make reserves, to build wealth is an active choice. It's not something that happens by itself. The second one is that in order to be able to invest, you have to put money aside. So being disciplined in your day-to-day life to say, okay, I put money aside, and to consciously build wealth for myself and the family, I think that's the most fundamental one. And then the next big step or big decision, which really is decisive, is to only invest in things that you understand. Like, in investing, simplicity is key. The more structured an investment product is, the more complex it is, the more you need someone to explain to you how it actually works. That's actually for us a red flag, you know, to say, okay, maybe that's not the one for me. You know, and there are basic things. There's real estate, there is investing in stocks, there is gold, and there is some cash. And then there are derivatives of this, but in reality, it's these four.
So the next is more complex. Do you plan to do something with crypto in the future?
We actually talk a lot about it.
Oh, really?
Yes, because it's something that is so much on the mind of our clients and also our partners. So it ends up in our discussions a lot, you know, because they say, how do you think about it? Don't you want to introduce it? And then we understand the concept of cryptocurrency, we understand its role, and particularly the technology behind it is really something that is of benefit for society. But the currency itself is basically a currency, like any other currency. And the value of a currency is normally it's the economy of the country that gives out the currency. But in this case, it is more of the belief of the people around the currency. So it's more of a speculative investment compared to the other things we do. And because we focus more on long-term building wealth for families, it is not in our repertoire right now.
But could it be somehow in the future?
Maybe.
Yeah, say never, never.
Another question, you did for your 30th anniversary, you did workshops in terms of, I would say, financial literacy, especially for women. So, and you still will do it, yes, right? Because it was a success. Would you just tell us a little bit about it? And who could apply? Could everyone go there and learn something?
Yes, so this whole idea about the progress of women has been also one of the founding principles of Partner Bank, because it's based on this idea that is something that actually my parents passed on. There was this beautiful quote of Abdul Baha where it says that humanity is like a bird and it has two wings. And these two wings are men and women. Only if both are equally strong, then society really can fly. So, and this also goes for financial abilities. And when we look at society and when we look at around us, we can see that for some reasons, women are not taking lead. Many women don't take lead in their own financial decisions. And this is not right, you know, and they have so many capacities, but they also need to take lead in that. And there has to be much more women who also are involved in financing. So we thought, okay, one way to help this actually is to provide workshops where we look at the needs of women, and some things are the same as men, but some things are very specific to women. And then we create workshops and knowledge, information on this aspect, and then we have trainings, we have discussion groups where people can openly speak about it, and we try to build more knowledge around this.
Is it like, how would I say this? Do you think that is like kind of a cultural aspect in it, that women do know less about like investing, or I don't know, like money topics in general? Or why do you think it does go so well, your workshop?
I think that women think they know less. It's very fascinating. Like when we did these workshops, the first few, when you would ask questions and the comments that women would give, they're very profound. And I think it's more also to empower women to trust more their guts and also their common sense. So I think it is true. There's some basic knowledge to share, yes, or some specific questions they have, okay. But in reality, it's also to empower women to trust more their guts, trust more their common sense, and take ownership of it. Or did you want to add something?
Yeah, and I also think that women have normally more mental load than men. Like, for example, they have maybe their career, and then they have family, and then they have their parents, and then they have friends they care for. And I think that sometimes there is not so much space to think about financial means and how to invest. And so we provide these spaces, and we actually love it ourselves. Like, it's a great opportunity for us to understand women more. We have this space for several hours. We are together, we elaborate together on things. Like, we think that you need much more spaces like that in schools, in universities, in maybe in different companies. So I think that we need a discourse on how to build prosperity where everyone can benefit, and not only a few.
So this is a question for the financial experts. What do you expect from the financial markets in the next few months? So.
It doesn't look too bright. It does not. But at the same time, there is opportunity. You see, because there are, like, as you can see, we are much on the stock side of things.
Yes.
Like, we really want to encourage people to invest, among other things, in good companies. And this is also a way to promote prosperity. But really, there are companies right now who are really punished in this environment. So there's a pessimism in the markets, which also means that people have sold companies or their shares in companies that are excellent. So usually when there is crisis in the markets, it's an opportunity to invest at fair prices. So one shouldn't miss out on these at the same time.
So you've just 30 years anniversary. What about the next 30 years? So are there some plans, or how do you want to proceed the family business?
Yes, we hope that, that this bank will last many generations to come, and that we see anyways family as an extended family. Like, we see our employees also like an extended family. So we hope that together with our great team, we can expand, and we can strive further for excellence, and be able also in a world which has a lot of shake-ups and a lot of challenges, that we can be also as a company a place where our employees feel safe and optimism, and know that when we all work together, that we can tackle every challenge. And I think this is something for whole humanity. I think if we stand all together and work shoulder and shoulder, I think humanity can solve a lot of things which are going on. And so I hope that in 30 years we live in a peaceful world where everyone has the possibility to thrive, and and make a positive impact.
So that's like kind of the perfect words for for the end of our talk. Thank you very much, Sarvenas Enayati and Elham Ettehadieh from Partner Bank.
Thank you for having us.